Hello folks and welcome to Craic News. Today we have two of the nerdiest people I've ever had in my studio.
Woohoo! Let's get it going.
I told them to be high energy and took some cocaine for the show. Okay, so I want to start off. You grew up as a comic book fan and game fan in the 90s when it might not have been like the height of like geek culture what we have now. Because I'm still in school.
Yeah.
Do you walk around like the more you know about Doctor Who, the cooler you are?
Nah, still the same.
Okay. You're still getting your head flushed down the toilet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But once you get to big school, it'll all change. and don't forget, like when you're saying about it wasn't the height of geek culture, you know, I was 8, so it was the height of geek culture for me. I wasn't an adult in the 90s.
That's true.
Loving comics.
I see that since Fantastic Four is coming out in the summer, you've decided to go full Reed Richards with your hair. Is that?
I've gone beyond that. I see you've gone pure thing with your face.
But we're going to start off talking about Superman. You're a big DC fan, Sam.
Yes.
Like, what do you think of the costume, the new costume for Superman?
I mean, as long as he has a cape and he flies, that's all I give a shit.
Well, are you like pro underpants, or are you like no way, dude? Like, you're a big Henry Cavill fan.
The only thing I remember about Henry Cavill is the one they just edited his rush that
Oh,
shit.
that was weird. That looked weird. And I wonder would you have noticed like how weird it was if you didn't know in advance it was going to happen, and his face just went.
Yeah,
like,
I think. Yeah. I was like, but he came back evil as well, didn't he? Yeah,
Was
like,
it not that
he
in
was
Mission
fighting the Justice
Impossible?
League.
He was at Mission Impossible playing the bad guy at the time. That was why I had the
Yeah, but I mean,
mustache
they
and
filmed it on reshoots. So I think at the
I
start it
don't
looked
know.
normal, and at the end they were doing reshoots. He comes back and fights the Justice League, and he had like a big CGI'd out his moustache.
I'm going to destroy you.
I think so. We're talking about Superman. What do you think of the actual like upcoming slate? Do you think like there's superhero fatigue? Are you looking forward to like there's going to be Superman, Supergirl, Sergeant Rock, Lanterns TV series?
Yeah.
You're a big DC fan. Do you prefer seeing like these small characters coming to life?
Well, considering the first Green Lantern movie was with Ryan Reynolds was the most bad CGI stuff I've ever seen in my life.
The CGI on the mask, didn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it also had like sparkles and glows. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
had to do it.
And there's like one point where like he's sitting in a room and like what he's sitting on, the only real thing in the room is the chair. Like you're like you could tell that that's just all green screen.
Yeah. And then what do you think of? Are you still into like Marvel films, or nowadays you just don't really care anymore?
I just finished watching Daredevil Born Again, which is really good for the most part. And I did have some.
I've only watched the Netflix one. I haven't really watched the.
I love the Netflix ones. I thought it was really
The
gritty
Netflix
and like
one, he was more like kind of more
grounded.
grounded. Like
Yeah.
he'd talk a lot more. He would go like, "This is why you shouldn't do this."
Yeah.
So I think it was more like
You have like a peaceful approach.
yeah, it was.
Bullseye, when you hit someone in the gun with a bullet in their right eye,
It kills them.
it kills them. You gotta be kind. This is me talking to the kids in the house.
I actually
Stop kicking me in the balls. It's not very kind.
I actually preferred when he wore I was actually rewatching the
The
Netflix
black.
one. Yeah, the black.
Yeah.
Just it was so grounded. It wasn't the red costume.
And that's sort of thing like the thought they had to go
Yeah.
superhero way when they didn't. They could have had.
And then so you're talking about the DC slate. See, when you're now going out to see films, because you've I was going to say recently, but like you're now a dad, right? Does your film taste change to be like? Because I was watching Superman, the trailer, and I was like, some people think it's really cheesy that there's a dog in it, and it's a little crypto, and he's jumping over Superman, and I was like, Stephen probably loves this. He's like, Matthew is going to love.
No, it's a dog thing. It's a dog lover thing.
Come on, Matthew will definitely love that film.
Well, he's not allowed to see it until he's 12. So
Oh, is it 12?
Probably the first thing he lands in is all this blood trickling out of his
Okay,
mouth. So
okay.
I guess it's going to be a 12.
See, I don't have kids, so I'm like, what's wrong with showing blood to the kids?
Well, it's more that it's like he's like, in peril and could be dying.
Okay.
Like, what's death, Daddy?
Oh no.
Oh, sorry, should have brought through this one.
But like whenever you go into the cinema or whenever something's coming out, does your head go to like, will my kids like this?
No, but I think my taste has changed because I'm usually going to cinema not to see you and PG ones by myself. You know, so like
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Be concerning if you were.
Yeah.
You sit in the back of the
Just
cinema.
me in
Sitting
the
in the back
back,
of the cinema, you're hood up.
No, but definitely, I don't know if it's just getting older or because you have kids and stuff, but like I used to love The Matrix and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I was definitely in that, like I was in that teenager years where like, oh, it's so philosophical.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The first one is like, that big gun scene where they come in with all these guns at the end and shoot spoilers.
Yes, yeah.
But then it's like they all come out with all these guns and all and shooting and these big AK-47s everywhere and they're shooting all these security guards. And then the whole thing is like, and you go, they're the people, they're just innocent security guards. I know that at some point they're taken over, but then they have this wishy-washy excuse in the middle to say, if you're not part of the solution, you're a potential problem. You know, they're just like, and I was just over it. I was like, them shooting people, blasting people, and they were all getting murdered.
Imagine going to the cinema with Stephen and sitting beside him while you're watching
but then I'd never seen John Wick when it came out, right? And people were like, oh, it's so cool, it's so cool. And then I watched it and it's like, this guy, you know, he cycled up on a motorbike and he shoots someone point blank in the head. I'm like, this film isn't for me anymore. I would have loved that when I was 20 and I was like, oh, cool action. But now I'm like, why are you shooting someone? It's happening every day in America. You take it. No,
maybe that's why.
Maybe it's more of that too. You see so much of it now, and you're like, you realize that people are real.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
But no, my tastes have changed. But I'm not sure if it's because of kids or because of just.
Okay, cool. Cool. So we'll move on to games. You've got a new game coming out. I haven't actually talked about this. Is it coming out anytime soon?
Like last month.
Okay, what was that game?
That was Jennifer Wilde.
Jennifer Wilde is. Do you play like point and click? Like I know you're into like PlayStation, but would you play like point and click adventure games?
I really like those sort of old ones.
Oh
like
yeah,
Grim Fandango and Full Throttle. Those ones.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, is that
It's now released on Switch.
Nice.
It was the day that they were doing the announcement for Switch 2. It's like, well, here's a game out for this outdated console.
You released it, get ours on PlayStation 2.
It is backwards compatible.
That's the only reason Stephen come on the podcast. I was like, you can pitch your get one game sold to. If you had 5 words to promote Jennifer Wilde to Sam and sell your game, when you allowed 5 words, this is a game we're going to play.
Mm-hmm. Comic style, 1920s, Oscar Wilde, 1 word. Supernatural. Murder mystery.
That was a cheating. That was at least 10 words.
It was 7 words, but they were double barreled.
Okay, you look like someone who would definitely fit into the 1920s style. You look like a very. Yes. So are you sold?
Yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah, nice one. Okay. And this one that you're going to be bringing out later, Task Force, is more like. Reminds me of like playing the Sega Mega Drive when I was young, and it reminds you of like the X-Men games, and also reminds you of like Street Fighter kind of thing.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's our first sort of action game.
Yeah. So why did you change?
I mean, I play point and clicks, but I always loved action games as well. So I just thought if we can, because when I first started making games, I had a background making comics and making the storyboards. So I thought, well, our storytelling is our way into games, we can bring in stories. But I always loved action games as well. So now was the point. Okay, we've made 2. We know how to make these point and clicks. We know how to tell a story. I would love now to combine that story with a good action punching, which is what I really love to do in games. So it was just an evolution of where we sort of went in the first place.
So speaking of comics, though, I do have an interesting comic to show you.
Okay.
What is it? What do you got?
This is Spiderman versus the IRA.
I've seen this one. Is this the one with the big tanks in the first page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, it's like Belfast just destroyed.
Really well drawn. Belfast. It reminds me of that Captain Planet one, where they come the episode where they come to Belfast, and he's just like, it's there's a nuclear bomb going off on the Falls Road, and he's afraid that it might hit the Shankill. Oh no! He's like, I think it'll blow a hole in the thing. But no, the only realistic one with the comedy Ireland is Garth Ennis, who drew the Punisher, wrote the Punisher. But he's from here, and he brought the Punisher here for one issue.
Yeah.
And just at the very first page, is Punisher looking down at this sort of young guy, and he has this like hair and a wee spade moustache, and then we last sent him, "I'll knock your bollocks out." That's the only legit,
wee spade.
Yeah, wee spade. Punisher, and I think Punisher just like blows his head.
But even when you read that one, you can tell it's written by Americans because they're like, I'm gonna like beat your balls in or whatever. You're like, mate, that's not how that works. That's not how
I'm gonna knock your balls in. Cool. So what else have you got coming up? You've got Jennifer Wilde and Task Force. Anything else you want to promote before going off?
I would say like we have other stuff in the works. We're doing a VR game.
What's it called?
We're doing we're making a game called Alter Ego. Ooh. And it's really cool. So it's like you have a VR headset. It'll also be on PC as well. But you can you're a comic artist and you're like get these mad deadlines and you're like, oh my god, you need to finish but you've sort of done this weird mixed up comic with like half sketched in.
Okay.
You got to finish it. But what you do is like in order to figure out what happened, so you actually have to follow a puzzle to make it all logic. But you can actually look inside and then go inside the comic book. And then you're inside the comic book, and so you have to look at all the clues that you've done in a haze and figure out who would fit where and who would do what.
Cool. That sounds like something like very Doctor Who as well. Like very. What's the word everyone's using for meta? Sounds very meta.
Yeah.
And what about yourself? What's your next gigs coming up?
I guess gig in Derry on the 29th of May, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
That's a good promo right there. I might be gigging in Derry sometime. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And he's also gigging at my gig, which he forgot to mention.
I didn't know if I was allowed to mention it.
Crack the Gong sometime in May. So,
we're actually releasing a demo for Task Force in May.
Oh, okay.
In a couple of weeks. But if you just go on there, like Discord and stuff, which is cool. Like outsider games or Steam. you'll find the demo coming out soon.
Well, thank you very much for coming down. I really appreciate it. That was our nerdiest Craic news. And check out all the latest games and comedy from our guests. Woo!
Yeah.